Hi everyone, welcome to Hard Knot Garage. Going to reassemble my BMW engine and running gear Datsun 240Z. I do need to make a number plate for it. So I've also warming up my heat gun. I had a question about that recently and I thought I'd show people what I do with them. Now I'm just missing another bit. Bear with me for a second. There it is. Cool. So this is a Maisto Datsun 240Z. You can see there's a few more in the background, and I've been buying a few recently because they're on they're relatively cheaply available at a local super cheap auto place. So assembly. This one's modified. Has a Kyosho BMW Z8 motor and running gear, as I said before. So just going to put all the bits together. The reason for the heat gun is when you're assembling these bits, how does that go? Sometimes using super glue like this stuff, this is my normal go-to super glue, can cause issues. Sometimes it can cloud paint, or particularly glass, the plastic windows and stuff, it can cloud those up. So using your heat guns can be quite useful. Normally these have melted push pins on them, so it should be warm enough. And you really don't need a lot, just a little smidge like that, and you're done. One of the disadvantages of heat guns is sometimes you get all these stringy spiderweb bits, so they can be a bit of a pain, and they're hot, so burn yourself. Okay. Not totally convinced about the yellow on this, but should look okay. Which goes first? Sometimes the tricky bit when putting models back together is remembering which order things go in, because sometimes you need to put some things in before you do other ones. So broke off one of the window wipers. Actually, I don't think it's broken. I think it's just popped off. Just going to trim this a wee bit. Remember from last time, these were a bit fiddly to get in. so again, just a tiny little dollop from the glue gun. Now, that's what I was going to tell you before. So, I think this is from Bunnings or something. It's not a super top brand glue gun, but it is a bit more of a heavy duty one. One of the things I found using the little tiny super cheap, sorry, not super cheap auto, but just the really cheap craft ones, is they tend to explode. I think I've got another video where I had 3 of them explode on me, mainly because the glue forced itself into the front mechanism and shorted the wires. So that wasn't a particularly fun experience in the middle of winter in a dark garage when there's a loud explosion and the lights go out and you're left in the dark wondering what on earth is going on. Okay, so pop. Now in theory, the steering wheel should, the dashboard should just pop in. Okay, that looks alright. Cool. Don't need the engine. Rear window. I think these ones are a little easier to put in. Another thing too with these Maisto models is they're pretty easy to work on, to take apart in most cases, put back together. So they're a really good model to try this stuff on. You know, if you completely destroy it, well, you've only wasted a few dollars. Just get a little. And you always have a parts car for the next build. Here we go. Sometimes, oh, do these have a rooftop? No, they don't. Sometimes with models, they have these metal kind of rivets that you have to drill out. So that's why the hot glue gun's good. You can just, again, put a not hard to see what I'm doing. Bit of dab of glue. Oops, making the audience sick. And then should be able to just push that on. I may have waited a bit too late. Nope, that's good. And that's sitting where it's supposed to be. Cool. All right. The window frames in. And then the door cards. There we go. Look at that, just clips in. So I could put some glue on these if I wanted, but I don't really need to. And you never know, I might want to take this model apart later. The hot glue also potentially makes it a little bit easier. And sometimes you can use the hot glue gun if you just want to temporarily hold something, because you can pry it apart later. Right, the side windows. if you got kids too that might want to introduce them into this hobby, these Maestos or Baragos are really good for it. The Maestos are probably a little better, just in the sense that they don't usually have an entire motor. You can see this one's got just an engine card, whereas Baragos tend to have a whole motor. Although they're the same company now, so some of their models cross over, but Maestos have spring suspension, so you can raise or lower them quite easily. Right, do the back. Just I haven't got that the right way up, haven't I? Sometimes trying to do this in front of a camera is harder than usual because I can't quite get to where I need to. What is that doing? Sometimes you just need to trim a little bit off these push pins to get them back in. Go. Whoop. Again, you almost these things almost dribble out a little bit, so you can almost just use what you've got on the end. Sometimes if you just need a tiny little bit of glue, and you want to place it in a really exact place, you can use just like a piece of wire, grab a little bit and then dab it on the thing that you want. That can be quite useful for just getting in tricky places. Okay, so I think that's the body. Oh, the lights. And it's really good for, as I said before, lights and windows, because it won't make them go cloudy, which the super glue can do. That one's not sitting in properly. That's good. So sometimes I was putting it on the back, sometimes you've got to put just a little bit on the front side as well. Just make sure I get that in right. Nope. Didn't go in properly. Right, let's just get the back bit in first. Remelt that glue. Doesn't seem to want to line up properly. Right, and then think that's in alright. I can adjust that later if I need to. Okay, I think that's all the body. Okay, so the seats. Oh, I seem to have one seat. Where's the other one? So the seats should just pop in. I'm not going to paint the interior on this one. Again, if I change my mind later. It should pop in and like that. Now I do have the exhaust to stick on. So I might just hot glue this because let's see if it's going to work. Okay, so this is an example of just using the hot glue gun to kind of temporarily hold something. Oop, can't even see what I'm looking at until I decide to do it properly. And the final bit, putting the body back on. And it should just pop in like that. There we go. Now I haven't actually attached the body. That's going to require a little bit of finessing. That door. Okay, I might just have to play with that a wee bit. Let's just rip the camera a little bit. There we go. And you can see that's one of the reasons I wasn't sure about that, because I need to just check that those exhausts line up. And it's already popped off. I didn't use a lot of glue on it, but that should sit like something like that. And then under the hood, or the bonnet as we like to call it down here, just get some lighting. Oops. Probably should have did it the other way around. There you go. Nice little BMW Z8 engine. I probably need to put a radiator in the front somewhere. I'll have to sort that later. So there we go. Thanks for watching.